This is
Team Rochelle.
You guys were so excited to see you this week. Put it down. And just be with you here again, you guys. This is part 3 of our interracial relationship.
Part 3.
We had so many questions. We only got through half of them last time. So we wanted to get through all of them, and that's why we're doing another video. We thought, part 2 would be great. We only need 2 videos.
Wow.
We need 3, and that's a good problem to have.
A
We're very thankful for that. So we're going to be answering the second half of these questions today. And you guys, if you have shared, commented, liked, if you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, we just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are so thankful that you guys follow us, that you watch, that you share, because we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, we need your help, and we love that you're there for us. So we want to say thank you. We are appreciative. And let's get started with these questions.
Let's go. It's me first. Number 1. Why didn't you marry someone of the same race? All right. It's a good question. And can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why didn't I marry someone of the same race? Because I didn't want to. When you find someone who speaks your soul's language, all that other stuff goes out the window. It wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally discover Maddie. I mean, to this day, there were people. Sorry, I had to do that. To this day, there were people who were literally asking me to go out on a date with Maddie when we were just friends, and I was like, nope, no, I'm good. She was like, no, we're good. I'm all this.
We haven't shared that story. We haven't
even shared the whole thing. Like, we went from friends to married, but that's a whole different episode. Point. Back to the point. I didn't intentionally set out to create love for her. It happened. And so when it came down to race, it's like, are we vibing? Are we gelling? Are we friends first? I didn't care if she was gray. I mean, we were made for one another in that sense. So I don't think that wasn't my focus. I didn't intentionally seek her out. I'm gonna get this white woman because da 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 da. Nah, it just happened. It happened, and I was open to that. And that's what I say to that. Like, you just gotta be confident that that's who God has for you, and walk with your chest out. Say it with your chest.
Question 2.
Question number 2.
This one says, do you ever get mean looks in public as an interracial couple?
Yeah.
Yes. I think. Yeah.
All the time.
I think there's a certain point where you just kind of, people are going to stare at you. People are going to look at you. I mean, people could be looking at you because they admire you. Yeah, maybe they don't dislike you so much.
Someone told us that one time. He said, and we did a speech about it and everything, but he said, not all the looks are always bad.
True.
And you can't be jaded and let that affect you and the beauty of your family. And we certainly don't.
We don't. And then I think there's a certain point where it's like, you can't care about what every single person that you pass thinks, because you're just going to waste all your energy and just, be tired all the time. I'm already tired, so I don't need to waste energy on that. But yeah, we get looks. I think now it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
So
we're confident, so.
Confident.
I'm confident. Question number 3.
We're moving right along here.
Yeah, we're moving.
How do you address this statement, white women are stealing all the good black men? I can answer this one.
Go ahead.
This goes back to trends, and I think that's a big part of it. Like we talked about before, the representation in the media is usually always black men with white women, and I think there's this, it's almost like this unspoken thing where it's like, I want to be with a black man just because of this, and that, or, I want to be with a white woman because this, and that. Yeah. And I think that with that in mind, like, I could see where you're kind of like tilting your head like, that's fake. You can tell when people are doing things because it's fake. Like, it's not real love. Because we get a lot, we obviously have an authentic relationship. Yeah. I do not love him just because he's black. And we get a lot of the opposite remarks. You guys are lovely together. I love how you love each other. And that's because it's authentic love. When you have that fake love, that's extremely frustrating, even for us. It's like, you don't want to see people almost making a mockery of your relationship because you're interracial. Like, we're not a trend. We're not a trend. It's not any of that kind of stuff. So,
the real deal.
The real deal.
Real deal.
So I say to that, as long as you're with the person that you love, like that's not a thing. So.
Yeah. And sometimes good people, let this be a lesson too. Sometimes good people are closer than you think, but you keep overlooking them because they don't fit your criteria.
Gas.
So
relationship advice.
Maybe it could be that. Sips tea. I don't know. Sips tea. But maybe they're closer than you think, but you keep calling them a friend. So
ooh, friend zone.
That's what happened.
Ooh,
Stop friend. Yeah, friend zone. We have to talk about that.
Okay, we have to cut this off. Question number 4. As a white woman, has a white man ever treated you like trash because you were with a black man? I guess this question's for me because I'm the white woman.
That would suck. But
no, I haven't gotten that. I think the only white man in my life is my dad. And he loves Jarell.
So. Yeah,
and he loves Jarell. So
shout out to Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa's awesome. I love my dad. No, I haven't gotten any flack for that. I think I would say the same thing if you're around people who don't approve of your relationship or they're icky towards your spouse.
Facts. If they don't like your spouse, it's done.
Bye.
It's done. Just say peace out. Because you're going to spend more energy trying to get to convince them to like your spouse than anything. And you need that energy to pursue your goals and your dreams. You don't have time for that. So that's not even about a race anyway. Like, that's just about people being
Cut that
people.
stuff
Cut it
off. You need to cut it. Hey. You need to
cut
it.
Hey, man.
Question
Boom.
5.
Has anyone ever confronted you about preserving the black race?
There it is.
No one's ever confronted me about preserving the black race, but there are conversations about how this matters. One thing that I know about black race and black culture is that it has existed before the beginning of time, and it will always exist because from a view of American culture, black people in large are responsible for so many things: music, fashion, clothing, merchandise, creativity, rap, R&B. Yeah. I mean, rap is the biggest selling music genre of all time, and that's attributed to what was birthed out of the Bronx, New York. Like, think about that. Black culture is America, and I'm not ashamed or at a lack of words to say that. It's going to be around. So Adeline is not going to have a dent on it. We're not going to have a dent on it. It's going to stand on its own in the same way that white culture stands on its own and Hispanic culture stands on its own, because we've been here for millions of years and we've been living. So there's nothing that could harm that. It is what it is, and you see it around you. You feel it. You know when it's in the room, and that will never go away. So it doesn't matter, and it doesn't affect it at all, because it's always going to be there. Period.
Question number 6. Ooh, this is a good one. What concerns do you have for your child as a biracial family?
Yeah.
That's a very good one. I think
I'll
go back to representation.
Yeah.
I'll go back to kind of what we said before about Adeline having a lot of different people speaking into her life. And I think that's true of any child, but especially as a biracial child, because you have, she has both myself and her papa inside of her. So like we said before, our families are such a blessing to where she can have strong influence from my parents on my side. She can have strong influences from Jarell and his parents and sister on their side, and we can let the black and white cultures intermingle together.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important for her as she grows up to see other biracial women as well, and have conversations with them. What have you gone through? What have you experienced? The places that maybe we can't reach, that we provide those opportunities for her so she can have knowledge and she doesn't feel like she's in the dark about certain areas of her life that maybe as individuals we haven't navigated before. As a mom, I haven't navigated, or as a dad, he hasn't navigated. And as long as we keep that open communication going, I think she'll be successful, and we'll be able to just give her all the resources.
And for me, my only concern with her as a biracial child is for her to never feel like she can't jump into the black culture. Sure. As a whole, because I know sometimes we've had conversations with children that are interracial, and they're like, well, what am I? Am I black, or am I white, or, am I this or that? And it's like, honey, you're black, but you don't need to, prove it, or you don't need to be black enough like you are. And so, I don't ever want her to stand on the outskirts and be like, well, I can't participate because, no, this is as much you as it is anyone else. Yeah. And just making that strong intentional foundation to grow her in that, because I know it can be difficult, because at the end of the day she's gonna have a white mother, and it's like how that shapes how she looks at the world. And I mean, me as a black father, that changes and shapes how she looks at the world.
True.
So I don't want her to feel like she can't participate or be invested in that, and or have to feel bad about it because it'll, you know what I'm saying? No.
They also say that the same-sex parent is the one that has a large influence on how the child like conducts themselves, just like, because you think about that, your mom or your dad, like as a woman I would emulate probably more about my mom because she's a woman as well. And so I think for me, because of that, like we're introducing her to her culture, being a black woman as well, like having other black women speak into her life. Like it's not just about me, like I'm her, I've said that before, I'm her mom, and that will never change. But like having black women who can speak into her life, her Mimi, her Auntie Tia, like even finding other places where, you know, she can talk to other biracial women, other black women, strong women who know who they are and really who can speak that and help grow her confidence as well, because it's not just a job for us, it takes a village with kids. And I think that being appreciative of both of our cultures is really what's going to make her successful and shape her into that
balanced
person.
And really balanced. So
Question
we're at 7. We're at 7.
Yeah.
How did you strengthen your relationship knowing that people were against it? I think awareness is what made us stronger. When you're aware of something, you can either choose for it to let it have an effect on you or for you to have an effect on it. And we wanted to break the mold. We intentionally wanted to break the mold of what it was like to be in an interracial relationship, but to have the same truths and understandings to come together and flush it all out. And that was our goal. And that was our intention. That still is our intention. And we're accomplishing that day by day, view by view. And so for me, it's one of those things where, man, I lost my spot.
Well, I think it's kind of like that idea that when you come together, like this is our family unit. And so what's really important for our relationship is like he said, we're intentional about it. So it's good to get counsel and wisdom from people on the outside, but you have to ultimately remember that it's your relationship,
and you're deciding.
We have to own that. So the decisions that we make and what we let into that is ultimately on us. So I think that's super duper important that we just remember, like you said, being intentional with our relationship, even if you have outside voices. I mean, sometimes you want to listen to, depending on who it is, you want to listen to opinions that other people have, and I think we have very few people that we listen to their opinions on our relationship. Very few. I think that would come down to our parents. And then other than that, it's like it's a non-issue if you're talking about somebody else having an opinion on our relationship, because it's ours, you know? At the end of the day, that person who's saying something about your marriage is not in your marriage.
They don't live with you.
They're not here, so
they don't do life with you.
It's just it's us.
It's us.
All right, last question.
8, last question.
It says, culturally, how do you balance traditions as a family?
That's a great question.
We've kind of gotten to that a little bit. You want to answer this one?
We take her. We have touched on this a bit. We take her, and we're intentional about where we take her. If it's something that,
time with.
Yeah, exactly. If it's something that a family tradition, I know my family loves going to the flea market. I will never take that away from my daughter. I don't care how rich we become or famous we become. It will always be that. And I know that her family likes to go to restaurants that are very specific. And we're going to go there, and it's going to be Cracker Barrel or the pancake place in Austin. And it is what it is. And we're going to carry out those traditions and respect them because... that's just it.
Goes back to respect.
Respect, that's it.
Amen.
Respect the traditions. Guys, thank you so much for watching Rolling with the Rochelles. We love you. Thank you for every comment, subscription, support.
Everything.
Yes, everything. If you shared it with a friend, we love you. Maddie's going to go ahead and pray us out, but we just want to encourage you to say, don't be afraid to have those tough conversations, because at the end of the day, if you guys love each other, you'll come to a better understanding, and that'll make your relationship thrive even more, much like it has ours. So
let's pray.
Let's pray.
Dear Lord, I thank you so much for today, God. We thank you for those intentional conversations that we have with each other, to not only bring about understanding, Lord, but to strengthen and renew and deepen our relationships, God. And so we just pray that as everybody is watching that, they would just be inspired to go and to ask those difficult questions, to get to know their friends, to get to know their family, that we may start to build a culture of love around each other rather than a culture of questioning and hate and misunderstanding, Lord, that we would just be a small catalyst to something brand new, that this world would be transformed just by questions, by love, by understanding, and by the renewings of our mind, Lord. And so we just pray this week people would go out with intention, they would go out with love, just to spread that kindness around, and then that would be the new trend of this world, Lord. We thank you and we praise you in your holy precious name. Amen.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my gosh.